The first Descendant, a world of promise, power, and endless possibilities, but beneath its shiny surface lies a nightmare for hardcore players. Forget the hype, the flashy trailers. This is the truth. The things that drive even the most skilled gamers to the brink. Prepare to face the reality. The first Descendant, developed by Nexon, is a game that, despite its engaging gameplay and impressive visual fidelity, is marred by several issues that frustrate even the most dedicated players. From performance problems to questionable game design choices, these flaws hinder the overall experience and demand attention from the developers to truly make the game shine. This detailed explanation covers 10 of the most significant issues that currently plague the first Descendant. Performance issues on PC are a prominent concern for many players. While playing the game on the PS5, I encountered severe frame rate stuttering in the initial battlefield, which would have been a game-breaking flaw if it persisted throughout the entire experience. Fortunately, subsequent regions performed better, but the PC version tells a different story. Reports of freezes, frame rate drops, and crashes are common, even among players with powerful gaming rigs. This is particularly disappointing because the game's visual fidelity is quite high, making it an ideal candidate for showcasing the capabilities of high-end PCs. However, until these performance issues are resolved, the PC version remains far from the ideal way to play the game. The enemy AI in the first Descendant is another area that leaves much to be desired. My experiences with the AI have ranged from baffling to downright frustrating. Often, when I grapple to a high location, the enemies seem completely incapable of responding, blindly running around or trying to leap up to me. In other encounters, the enemies are uncannily accurate, nailing every shot with the precision of a seasoned MLG pro. This inconsistency in AI behavior creates a jarring experience that swings wildly from too easy to unbearably difficult. While I'm not expecting AI on par with the marine grunts from Half-Life, a more balanced and predictable AI would make for a much more enjoyable experience. Scaling difficulty in looter shooters is always a challenge, especially when characters and weapons can deal tens of thousands of DPS. In the first Descendant, higher difficulties turn enemies into damage sponges, soaking up an unreasonable amount of damage before going down. While this is somewhat expected in a sci-fi post-apocalyptic setting, it dulls the power fantasy that players seek in these games. Balancing enemy health and damage output is a delicate act, and future updates will hopefully emphasize more tactical enemies and mechanics, rather than simply cranking up enemy health. One of the most glaring issues in the first Descendant is the lack of movement options. Many games in this genre offer a variety of traversal mechanics that enhance the overall gameplay loop. For instance, Destiny 2 features mid-air dashes, slides, and multiple jumps, while The Division 2 allows for tactical cover-to-cover movement and vaulting. In stark contrast, the first Descendant offers only running, jumping, and grappling, with no crouching or sliding. Some characters, like Kyle, have movement abilities tied to their skills, but these are few and far between. Adding more movement options would greatly enhance the fluidity and enjoyment of the gameplay. The Descendant Instructor, a character designed to explain the game's systems and mechanics, presents another significant issue. While the concept is sound, the execution falls short due to the instructor's rapid text speed. Information is displayed for mere seconds, making it difficult to read and process, especially for new players who are unfamiliar with the game's mechanics. A simple fix would be to regulate the text speed and add a confirmation button to ensure players have understood the instructions before moving on. Body blocking by allies in a PvE-focused game like the first Descendant is a surprisingly persistent annoyance. Imagine playing a character like Bunny, whose kit revolves around running around and slaughtering mobs, only to have your allies constantly get in your way. This issue is exacerbated when playing characters like Sharon, who rely on going invisible and executing enemies. The constant collisions with allies disrupt the flow of gameplay and hinder movement, making it a frustrating experience. Level design is another area where the first Descendant falls short. The gameplay loop for missions often feels repetitive and uninteresting, largely due to the uninspired level design. While there are some light platforming elements and the ability to grapple to different locations, many levels feel visually dull and lack compelling reasons to explore. This issue is particularly evident in the instance dungeons, which make up the bulk of the story missions. These dungeons are monotonous, involving simple runs from point A to point B, reminiscent of the old Destiny One Strikes. Even the Colossus fights, which incorporate some platforming to avoid attacks, are visually unappealing. The repetitive nature of the quests further compounds the issue of monotonous level design. Many quests in the first Descendant lack deeper mechanics and variety, often boiling down to simple objectives like killing waves of enemies, hacking 3 points, or escorting a drone. While looter shooters often have a turn-your-brain-off appeal, a bit more variety in the quests would go a long way in keeping players engaged. The current state of affairs makes the game feel like a repetitive grind with little incentive to push forward. In a looter shooter with multiple characters, having distinctive and interesting skills is crucial for maintaining player interest. Unfortunately, many characters in the first Descendant have kits that lack complexity and variety. Bunny, for example, is considered one of the better Descendants early in the game due to her charge meter and electric aura, but even she becomes repetitive after a while. Other characters like follow a similar routine with limited room for experimentation. While character-specific transcendent modules help alleviate this to some extent, it would be nice if the base kits offered more variety and encouraged more experimentation. Finally, the lack of free premium currency in the first Descendant is a major sticking point for many players. The in-game store is entirely tied to premium currency or caliber, with no way for free-to-play players to earn it through gameplay. While it's understandable that microtransactions are a primary revenue stream for the game, offering a small amount of caliber for free-to-play players would not break the bank. This could be achieved by adding caliber to the free track of the Battle Pass or providing it as rewards for certain in-game achievements. This change would make the in-game store feel less predatory and more accessible to all players. Despite its issues, the community's passion shows there's a strong desire to see this game reach its full potential. Thank you for watching and joining me in this deep dive. If you found this video insightful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments below. We will love to hear your own experiences and what you think could make the first Descendant better. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to stay updated on all things gaming. From reviews and deep dives to tips and tricks, there's always something exciting to discover. Your support means a lot and helps the channel grow.